The bathroom was dark, a light bulb attached to the wall, but its light was blocked by the three girls who stood in front of Ryan. They looked nothing but dead angels, scary faces and evil smiles. If eyes could bleed without an injury, Ryan's eyes might be an ocean of blood. With the intensity she looked at the girls who cornered her against the wall. Lucy, look at her, as if she's going to rip us apart. The three laughed and one of them pushed her shoulder. Tina, why? Got some guts? Wanna fight? Lucy kneed her in the stomach and Vine spit out blood, but she refused to give in to them. Why was she always treated like an outcast and bullied? Because she had no parents to back her up? Because she had to survive on her own? Since almost forever? Vine spit blood and grabbed a hold of the wall and stood up straight. Vine, you are going to regret this. All of them started to laugh and Vine held on to her necklace. Bora, then make us regret? She raised her hand to slap her, but Vine pulled onto her necklace, breaking it. And right then, Bora's hand stopped midair. No one had touched her. She tried to move her hand, and that's when panic started to settle in her body. What was happening? She couldn't move on her own will. Bora, I can't move my hand. What's happening? Vine smirked and threw the necklace away and slapped Bora in return. She then grabbed her bag and hit Lucy's head with it, while none of them could move. Vine, I've faced this bullying since forever. That's it from me. But I can't promise what he will do to you. She worn her bag and left the bathroom. As she was moving away from it, she heard horrified screams of the girls and knew he was behind it all. 'Vine's parents died when she was 10 and then lived with her granny, who also died when she was 14. Since then, she had lived alone, grew herself up, fed herself through all the kind of part time jobs. She got bullied at her workplace, in her school. She had no one to support her at all. Until until one day she was running away from a man she stole from. Yeah, it was wrong, but she did that sometimes to feed herself and keep herself alive. Her foot slipped, ankle broke, and the man caught up to her. But suddenly he fell unconscious. Just when Vine thought she was doomed, she was saved. It was weird. She thought maybe the man was sick or whatever the reason was, she ignored it, thanked her scars, and left away. But it started to happen often. Every time she got in trouble, she would be saved. People would fall unconscious. It made her confident. She started doing things boldly, without any fear. Then it happened. The first man's neck broke, and then another case, and another. Death after death. Whoever that angel helping her was suddenly started to crave her out. She didn't want anyone to die because of her, so she got a necklace which saved her from him. 2 months with the necklace, 2 months of bullying and harassment, which started all over again. One realized it was a vicious cycle which was never ending. She was tired of it. So when those girls hit her, She threw away the necklace. She knew her devil was back. As she stepped away from the bathroom, her knees wobbled and she leant against the wall for support. Her body was breaking apart due to fatigue and now the hit in the stomach she just received. Ryan, who are you? Stop hiding. I want to see you now. She started to feel the air around her shifting. The pain in her body was healing and the energy returned to her. She didn't need a supportive wall at all. She gulped, and when she looked at her right, she found a man, an ethereal, charming man that shouldn't be real. He stepped near her, and she felt a strong force pulling towards him. Step after step, she could see him better, feel him better. He was strong and powerful. You could tell that from 100 feet away by the aura he possessed. Vine, who are you? He stood right before her, trapping her against himself and the wall. She found comfort him, oddly enough, without knowing the reason. She knew he was not going to hurt her. Jungkook, he said. Was that his name? He touched her cheek and she felt the pain in her healed as well. Ryan, were you the one who saved me always? Jungkook, did you think that necklace was going to keep me away? I hold power beyond that. I let you off because I wanted you to call me yourself. I wanted you to know I was going to burn the world for you if I had to. When he spoke, his voice was filled with so much depth and power that Vine believed his every word. He stepped even closer to her. Her heart was so near to burst out of her chest. Vine, who are you? Jungkook, your devil. He leaned in and kissed her earlobe as he whispered in there, sending shivers down her spine. She felt a kind of arousal she never felt before, as if every part of her body was screaming for him. Jungkook, you won't ever escape from me. He wrapped his arm around her and pulled her against him. Mine took his warmth and held him tightly. She was all alone in this world, and she found him, in the depths of her darkness. She didn't want to let this warmth leave her ever again. Vine, why me? Why? Jungkook, it was you always. From the moment I first laid my eyes on you, you were mine. Even you wouldn't be able to escape. When she pulled away, they were not in the school corridor anymore. She was in her room, and she found a chance to look at him properly. There was a scar on his cheek, and he wore several piercings, a lot of tattoos, and a built body. Ryan, okay, I'll be yours. As if she was getting hypnotized by those eyes. Getting touched by those warm hands brought her a relief along with arousal. She didn't know. what to name it. Jungkook pulled her against him once again, so she was on his lap. He kissed her, holding her jaw in his grip. Another hand held her onto her hair. He kissed with such passion she never felt before, like every part of her body healed, and he took her to heaven. Vine, what happened to them? She asked when she pulled away with heavy breaths. Jungkook, I broke them and threw them in another dimension. They will never be found. Vine's eyes filled up with hesitation and fear until he held her chin, the warmth making her forget everything again. Jungkook, focus on me. I'll take care of the rest. She nodded and they kissed again. From that day onwards, they had started to spend time together. Vine was in disbelief how easily her troubles were gone. No one messed with her again, hearing the stories of those who did in the past. She rose. With him behind her, she got herself up from the throne's filled life and rose up high like a royalty.